everybody, welcome back to another Rockabilly guitar lesson. If you're new to the channel and you never want to miss a lesson, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today I want to show you how to play a Rock-Ola Ruby by Sonny West. And I'll show you the intro, which is also the second solo right here on YouTube. And if you want to learn the whole song, as usual, you find all the verses, the first solo, outro, tabs, jam tracks in 4 different speeds on Patreon or in my shop, and the links are in the description below. I play Rock-Ola Ruby for more than 20 years now, so it was just natural that I wanted to meet the man who wrote the song, which is such a big part of my life. And then last year in October, a dream came true. I met Sonny West at the end of a very, very eventful day. It started early in the morning in Clovis, New Mexico. It was freezing cold and I got out to the car to get my jacket, only to find out that I forgot the jacket the day before in Clinton, Oklahoma at the motel. And the shock was even bigger when I realized that my passport was still in the pocket of my jacket. So you can imagine how I felt. And I went to a post office and they couldn't help me much, and then I called my good friend Max Stevens. He's got a new YouTube channel going, I Buy Old Records, where it tells you everything about old records, how to find them, how to grade them, how to recognize bootlegs, so check his channel out as well. He helped me big time. He arranged that the staff at the motel put everything in a box, and then the US Postal Service picked it up and sent the whole package to Clay Glover, which we would meet at the end of our trip. And if you're not familiar with the name Clay Glover, he is another Texas rockabilly legend from Mineral Wells, and he played drums for To the Boatmen, Yulin DeVal, Dean Beard, and he still got the chops down. But back to Clovis, New Mexico, where I was a little bit more relaxed after I talked to Max Stevens on the phone, and he said he would take care of everything. So at 9 o'clock we had an appointment at the Norman Petty Studios, which is of course the place where Buddy Holly recorded his greatest hits, and it's just such an amazing place, a studio, so much cool stuff to see there, and you can breathe history. So if you're ever in the area, Clovis, New Mexico, please go and check it out. You'll never regret it. Afterwards, we stopped at Foxy's Drive-In, just as Buddy Holly and the Crickets would do in the late 50s. And I think we got a hot dog and a milkshake. And then we went to Lubbock. I drove off to Lubbock, where we had another appointment at the Lubbock High School, which is, of course, the high school Buddy Holly attended. And we were really impressed by how much of the original is still preserved and how much they value the history there. So this is another place that I highly recommend you check out if you ever have the chance. Then we drove all the way through Texas to finally arrive late in the evening at Sonny West's place. And Sonny also wrote Oh Boy and Ravon, and he kindly told us how they recorded Rock-Ola Ruby at the Lyceum Theater. And Norman Petty brought all his gear there, and then they had the recording session, recording Rock-Ola Ruby and Sweet Rockin' Baby. It was released then by Norman Petty on his own label, Norvajack Records, and I think it's now one of the most sought after rockabilly records. So after this long introduction, I finally show you how to play Rock-Ola Ruby by Sonny West. Rock-Ola Ruby by Sonny West is in the key of A, and it starts like this. So pretty straightforward. Here you start on the 5th fret, playing the G and the B string, and I use my index for the top 3 strings here. Then I add my middle finger to the 6th fret G string, again playing both strings. And then at the end of the first bar you just play the B string by itself, 5th fret. Yeah? And you want to start on 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And the next bar is very easy. You just play the 5th fret in straight 8th notes. And for the next bar, you add the pinky into the 8th fret. Back to the 5th 4 times. And then back to the B and G string, adding your middle finger to the 6th fret. Take it off and put it back on again. And then for the last bar in the first row, you play the whole A chord, F shape here. But you start on the D and G string, and then you will move towards the higher strings. Something like that. I just wrote down the whole chord, starting with G string. Yeah, there's no rule when exactly you will play which strings, but you just want to make sure it gets higher. So let me repeat the first row. 1 and 2 and 3. Then for the next bar, you put your ring finger onto the 7th fret, B string, and your pinky onto 8 of the E string, and you go back and forth between 7 and 8 here, and the 5th fret. Huh? So you do this 4 times, they're going back and forth. Yeah? So you have 8 notes all together in this bar. And then still continuing in the next bar. And you slide from the 7th to the 8th fret. Then I use my pinky to reach the 9th. High E string, of course. And then back to 5. 8, 7, and 5 on the B string. 5 and 6 on the G string, and back to 5 on the B string. Let me play this run again, starting here on the 8th fret. And then in the last bar of this row, let's stop there. You just play the G and the D string again, coming from the A chord, 6th and 7th fret. Then a pickup, starting on 3 and again. 5, 7, back to 5. 8th fret. 5 times. Then again, 5, 7, 5. Next bar. Starting here on the 7th fret. B string, then to the E string. 5, 7, 5. And 8, 7, 5. And then this bar comes to an end on the 7th fret B string. I will repeat the whole bar. Next bar. Starts on the 5th fret E string. Twice. 8, 7, 5 on the B string, then a hammer on from 5 to 6 on the G string. And then you finish the bar on the 5th fret B string. And then in the last bar you just play the A chord again. Like this. And I use the D, G and B string for the last bar. And now I will play the whole intro to the metronome at 80 beats per minute, which is almost half of the original speed. 1 and 2 and 3. It should be noted that it's not as clean as I play it here for instruction purposes. You can play it dirty. Yeah,